For this. Welcome, folks, to Sonic Mania Plus. Now, the reason I'm not advancing past the title screen here is because there is an intro movie I want to show. Yeah, I consider it kind of appropriate. Boom! Oh man, I can't wait! Because let me tell you something, folks. I freaking love this game! If you can't tell by my voice already. Sonic Mania, or rather Sonic Mania Plus, came out in 2017, and I gotta be honest here, folks, this is probably the peak when it comes to classic Sonic gameplay. This game has a bunch of different modes. Mania mode, which was the mode available at release. Encore mode, which is a sort of a new game plus. There's Time Attack, Competition, which is a split-screen multiplayer akin to Sonic 2 and 3. Options and extras. Peak modern Sonic would probably be either Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations. In fact, most likely Generations, really. Now, what we're gonna do for this playthrough so I can show everything off, I'm going to be using a previously completed file with all of the Chaos Emeralds. Oh. Well, I'll show you. This game not only allows you to play as Sonic, Tails, or Sonic and Tails together, as well as Knuckles, it also allows you to play as two long-forgotten characters, Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel, both of whom appeared in an arcade game called Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and Mighty has even become a recurring character in the comics, and he also appeared in Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X. But like I said, to make sure that I can show everything, including the extra zone, I will be playing through a previously completed file with all of the Chaos Emeralds and Sonic and Tails. Now, unfortunately, this skips the opening cutscene, and I thought I turned this mode off. Nah, whatever. We'll be playing as Sonic and Knuckles then. However, to compensate for me having all of the Chaos Emeralds at the start, I will avoid using Super Sonic until I reach Studiopolis Zone, which is where I collected all the Chaos Emeralds in my initial run. Now, when you pass a checkpoint, it takes you to the classic Blue Sphere gameplay. We're gonna try to do this game in one sitting, folks, so that's why I picked one that already has all the Chaos Emeralds, just so I don't have to constantly reset to make sure I get all the Chaos Emeralds in the special stages. The minigame from 3 is actually used to... It's not actually the special stage. This is a bonus stage. The Blue Sphere tracks do come from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, though there are plenty of original remixes of Blue Sphere to use as well. Completing these will earn you medals that unlock stuff like Sound Test, extra abilities that Sonic can use, the Knuckles mode that I'm using in this playthrough. I'll try not to bog this playthrough down with Blue Sphere levels, but I figured I'd show it off at least once. Completing the stage normally gets a silver medal, and getting a perfect gets you the gold medal. Now then, back into Green Hill. Now, that little triangle right there means I could transform into Supersonic right now, but... like I said, I'm gonna try not to until I reach Studiopolis Zone. Though it's almost instinct to press that button now and just start blitzing through the level. Boy, talk about a lucky invincibility power-up. Now, the giant rings normally lead to special stages, but if you've gotten all the Chaos Emeralds, then they just give you 50 rings on the spot to transform you into Supersonic. And now, the first mini-boss. I like to call it the Egg Pendulum, because that's basically what it is. Like, the two spheres spin around each other, switching between dangerous and not dangerous. Bounce. Bounce. Yow! There we go. Ding, ding. Now, one thing I haven't shown off yet is Sonic's new ability for this game. Jump, hold the jump button in midair, and you can charge up a spin dash in midair. This is called the drop dash, and it's very useful. Whoop. Well, that happened. Drat. Whoop. Boing. Yeah. That's another reason I, picked this file. It has a lot of lives, and I don't need to... and this way I won't need to worry about potentially getting a game over. Whoop! Ow. Now, one cool thing is that, those wooden spike bridges, if you have a fire shield, because they brought the elemental shields from 3 and K back, well, here, I'll show you. You get a trophy for doing that. Now, normally I'd have Tails following behind me here, but one of the things I unlocked from the medals was and Knuckles mode, which makes Knuckles the partner of whoever you're playing as. Yes, that means you can have Knuckles and Knuckles. Ooh, almost landed on that. Now, I don't remember there being any water in the original Green Hill, but... hey, even the returning zones in this game tend to have a lot of remixes to them. Including bosses! Holy crap! This is the Death Egg Robot, the final boss of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You have to wait for it to extend its arm and jump on that to deal damage. Or get to a higher spot and jump on Eggman that way. Or just take the hit and hit him with invincibility frames anyway. Oh, and you can't go on forever. Eventually, you will run out of track, but that takes a few minutes. Now, the way you can tell what attack Eggman is about to use is watching his arms. If one of them starts to follow you like that, then, he is about to shoot his arm at you. If the arm isn't following you and is moving normally, he's gonna throw a bomb at you. But enough hits, he goes down, And that's Green Hill Zone. Now, another cool thing about this game is that each zone has a little cutscene in between to show how you get there. Now, the opening cutscene this didn't play showed those egg robos known as the hard-boiled heavies taking that jewel called the Phantom Ruby from somewhere on Angel Island, and that transported you to Green Hill Zone. And now it's sent us over to Chemical Plant. Which, if you're a Sonic fan, you might realize were also the first 2 levels in Sonic Generations, but... I mean, they're good levels. Though, honestly, I think they could have used, maybe, Metropolis Zone for this game. Classic Sonic fan? Woohoo! Actually, Chemical Plant Zone, when I was a little kid, I was terrified of this place, because it was my first exposure to Sonic's drowning music. Huh. That's funny. It was one of my first real video games, too. I mean, the first one I really played was Pokemon. But, like, Sonic was what really... I hate this part. I hate this part. They don't have any water shields right before this part. So, we might hear a snippet of that music. Come on, come on. Desperate measures... Oh, I got crushed. Yeah, that happens. I was gonna transform into Supersonic there and use the extra jump height to get out faster, and then just wait for the transformation to run out. But as you can see, I failed in that endeavor. There is a special stage ring down at the bottom here, but it doesn't cause the acid to drain back out unless you haven't gotten all of the Chaos Emeralds yet. And if you screw up here, you're gonna drown. And don't screw up this jump either, or again, you're gonna drown. Shit! Go! Go, 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 go! Alright. Well, I'm probably going to drown. Yeah, the numbers have been there since Sonic 1. Huh. There I go being pessimistic. Whew. Jump. Jump. Alright. Just wait till you see the boss in this place. Of course, the badniks in this place haven't changed since Sonic 2. They've still got the spiders that grab you and hold on to you until either you mash enough buttons or your partner breaks you free. And this is the mini-boss of Chemical Plant Zone. This machine doesn't really have a name, and I couldn't think of a creative one for it. Basically, it collects all the it collects the muck around, the chemicals around it, forms them into those little spheres, and attempts to bounce on you. Hit it 5 or so times, and you should kill it easy. Now, one thing about hitting the goalpost around, you can do this in Sonic 3 and Knuckles as well, but sometimes if it lands on a specific area, it'll reveal an item box. But I don't know where those areas are, so if I get one, it'll just be by luck. Also, you may not have noticed, but the signpost winked at a certain point in the music. Now, Chemical Plant Act 2 involves changing these chemical bits around to form bouncy zones, and then using those to get to new areas of the level. Basically, the way they handle the old zones in Mania is that the first act is generally, you know, just like the old zone with the same gimmicks and all. And then the second act adds new gimmicks and a remix of the music to show that off. Ow. In my opinion, it's the best way to do these classic zones in a new way. Now right there, I just got the water shield, or bubble shield, which allows me to breathe underwater and perform a special bounce attack. Like this. I should probably go hit that checkpoint. No, not the spring. Sonic! Oh, Knuckles already hit the plunger for me, so boing! Oh, that right there, that is the Combine Ring, an item from Knuckles Chaotix. If you have that, then when you get hit, your rings scatter as giant rings that count as, like 10 or so. And it makes it easier to pick them back up. So it's a very useful item to have. And of course, as is Sonic tradition, 100 rings will earn you an extra life. Now that Badnik back there that destroyed my shield wasn't actually in the original Chemical Plant. It was in Sonic 3 and Knuckles' Angel Island zone. Jump up here and you can find a special stage ring. And the boss of Chemical Plant is a round of Mean Bean Machine. This is based on an old puzzle game for the Sega Genesis that was based on the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. No, I'm not kidding. Let's see here. Put you there. Yeah, that's what I said when I first saw this boss. Basically, your goal is to, well, just win the round of Mean Bean Machine. Okay, let's see here. You want to try to set up combos so that multiple lines of beans disappear at once. That way you can drop garbage blocks on your enemy and make them have to do more. The thing is, Eggman's not too good at his own game, so... yeah. I guess that's fair because Eggman in the original Mean Bean Machine was, of course, the final boss, and he was really hard. But like there, I cleared 2 lines in a row, and that made an entire line of garbage blocks drop onto Eggman's side of the field. Meanwhile, he's only able to drop 1s onto mine. But like there, I just got a 3 combo. Boom. Ah! Woohoo! Yeah, landed right on the plunger. And welcome to the game's first original zone, Studiopolis. Action. This is the casino zone of this game, and of course, being an original zone, this game is a love letter to all things classic Sonic, and well, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine was technically a classic Sonic game. The backs of these trucks will warp you all over the level until you come out of a TV at the end. And remember what I said when I reached this zone? Supersonic! For those of you not in the know, turning into Supersonic will cause your rings to drain periodically, like just one a second, but it makes you completely invincible and makes you move twice as fast and jump twice as high. The hard-boiled heavies, the first of which, Heavy Cop, I believe, we are fighting right now, are kind of this game's equivalent to like Scratch, Grounder, Dingo, Sleet. Just basically all the bumbling bad guys from the continuities, from the cartoons. Normally you have to jump over his missiles and then jump onto the blue one. But since I'm Supersonic, I can just plow through them. Yes, Supersonic can drown and get crushed, and he can still fall into bottomless pits, but that's all. Like, enemies cannot kill you, and, basically, yeah. However, if Supersonic runs out, you'll be out of rings and you'll be vulnerable, so... yeah. Try to transform when you have, enough rings that you think can get you to the end of the level. Though if you collect a shield while transformed, the shield will stay when you turn back. So that can be a good safety measure if you don't think you have enough rings to get you to the end of the level. You can only transform into Supersonic after obtaining 50 or more rings. And personally, I like to wait until I have more. No. What was happening... The damage to that mini-boss is only dealt by, bouncing his missiles back at him, so what I was doing was just running into them as Supersonic, and, that bounces them back. Knuckles wasn't doing anything. Now this version right here is another spin on the Orbinaut Badnik that has been around since Sonic 1. Basically, its spheres will spin around it super fast, and that makes it invincible while they're doing that. But once they stop spinning, then you can destroy the spheres and then the Orbinaut. Woohoo! Now those swingy robots, you don't want to touch them when they're electrified. Also, if you transformed into Supersonic and you want to turn back without losing all your rings, go into a blue sphere stage by touching a checkpoint, and you'll transform back to normal. This works for Super Tails, Super Knuckles, Super Mighty, and Super Ray as well. Because they all have super forms if you collect all the Chaos Emeralds. But only Sonic can get into the final zone. Ow. Also, I will be transforming into Supersonic a lot throughout this playthrough. Though I'll try to make it... just because I want to get through this without going too long, because I know for some of you it's late. But anyway, the boss of Studiopolis Zone is the Egg Weather Machine. Normally, you have to dodge the various weather attacks. Yeah, they did. Oh, by the way, do you hear that little droning sound in the background? That was a sound that pestered the stream that revealed this game in Sonic Forces, and they threw it in here as a joke. And well, look at that! A level from Sonic 3! Flying Battery Zone! Actually, this one's from Sonic & Knuckles, not Sonic 3 Vanilla. Drop down, spin dash away. Phew! I thought I almost jumped into the pit. Turning into Supersonic in this level can actually be dangerous, as Supersonic's greater jump height and faster speed make him harder to control. Ow. Not that I could transform now if I wanted to anyway. Yeah, that's what a lot of Sonic fans said. Personally, I don't hate Sonic the Hedgehog 4, but I do admit it's not exactly a great classic game. Now, one cool thing about this section, if you have the lightning shield, you can magnetize yourself to the ceiling. Ow. Guess I'm not going that way. And Sonic 4 Episode 2 was definitely a better game than the original Sonic 4. I mean, I actually bothered getting all of the Chaos Emeralds in Episode 2. If you're playing as Tails or Ray or Knuckles, or if you have Tails as a partner, you can get up there instead of hitting that switch. Aw, oh, come on! At least we had a checkpoint right before there. Ow. Yeah, I know. Oh, go back here. Ah. Oh, I just collected a lightning shield as supersonic. If you've got a lightning shield as supersonic, then, well, there's a lot that can't hurt. Well, you're not gonna run out of rings anytime soon. Now, your goal here is to destroy this magnet before the walls close in on you. To do that, you need... Well, you either need a lightning shield, you need to be supersonic, or you bounce off the little things it creates to bounce into it. Because otherwise it's too high up to hit. As Knuckles, that one's really tough. I mean, he had one in Sonic Colors. Now, you actually sink down into the trash if you stand still in it. And that can be used to take alternate paths. But I tend to prefer the higher path in Sonic games, just because that's usually where all the hidden stuff is. Not to mention, in most levels, higher paths mean less water and less bottomless pits. Ow. Well, I was about to say I'd like to keep that lightning shield for as long as possible. See, that's what I get for hesitating about transforming. I mean, if we do this fast enough, I might do like an hour of Spider-Man, I don't know. It'll ultimately depend on what you guys want. Okay, come on, Sonic. Sonic! There we go. Yet another wall that Knuckles or Tails can go up and explore. Or Ray. Mighty cannot... I suppose I should explain the other characters' special abilities. Like, Tails and Knuckles, obviously, like, Tails can fly, Knuckles can climb walls. Mighty can do a ground pound, which can actually destroy spiked enemies, even without, a shield, and if he's curled up into a ball, he also isn't hurt by spike hazards. Like, at all. You can never predict when those are gonna turn off. Man, crushing just seems to be my worst enemy today. And, Ray can also fly, but instead of the rapidly tap the button thing like Tails, he flies like Kate Mario in Super Mario World. Where you have to tilt the control... where you have to tap the control pad, back and forth to keep him airborne. Yeah. Ray actually can break this game in two even without turning super. If you master his flight. Sorry, Knuckles, only room for one. Yeah, just like Tails in most classic games. And in fact, just like Tails in this game, really. Now these right here. Occasionally they will electrify, and the sphere parts will, and basically the coils will become dangerous to touch. Destroy enough of the spheres or the badnik controlling them, and the electricity turns off, making it safe to pass. And it's boss time! This is the Egg Arachnid, or Egg Spider. And you can't actually hurt it by jumping into it. What you need to do instead is fling yourself into it and slam it into the spikes on the side of the arena. Any other hit just bounces off. Though you can at least, interrupt its attacks by attacking it prematurely. Probably. Though considering some of the stuff he jumped into in Sonic Advance that would spin around a lot, he must have one heck of a tolerance for spinning. Press Garden. Oh man, I love this place. This is basically Eggman's printing press area. Apparently he owns one of those. And now, we need to make our way through it. Featuring Badniks playing catch with a saw blade. And all sorts of other crazy gimmicks. Basically, you just want to wait for the bottom Badnik to throw the blade and then destroy the bottom Badnik so they stop throwing it back and forth. But like those little Badniks coming out of the inkwell have stamps on the bottom of their feet. When the letters light up, you can jump on them. These will rise up, and then the crates will slowly be crushed one by one. If you don't get off it in time, well, then you'll get crushed. You bounce higher on the conveyor belts by holding the jump button when you touch them. And it'll bounce you higher up. However, this might cause you to drop dash when you didn't realize you wanted to. So let's wait for that to cycle again. Now, these dragonfly-looking badniks actually came from Mushroom Hill Zone in Sonic & Knuckles. Wait, no, I want 100 rings. Darn, can't get over that. However, if you have a shield or an invincibility power-up and you destroy one of those crap badniks with the like, if it's holding the saw blade, then the saw blade gets destroyed with it and its partner becomes harmless. Well, I mean, it still hurts if you touch it, but the partner can't do anything else without its saw blade. Now, the mini-boss of this area is annoying. Basically, he'll aim those saw blade arms at you and shoot them. Now, since I'm Supersonic, I can ignore those saw blade arms. But if you're not, you have to trick him into attacking one of the green boxes to destroy his saw blade, and then attack him while he's vulnerable. Now, I've actually encountered a glitch here where Sonic would moonwalk in that cutscene right there. And I have it uploaded to YouTube if you want to see it, but sadly I haven't been able to replicate it. The ice blocks here shatter when you jump on them, and so do the ice springs. Well, Press Garden Act 2 definitely takes a little bit from Mushroom Hill, like one of its badniks, and yeah, the big slopes borrow from, what was it again? Hill Ruins? No, it was another Sonic 3 level. I think it was the third zone in that game where the boss was, like, Tails got hold of you and you were, no, that's Sandopolis, and, at certain points in this level, Sonic will get frozen, and, well, you'll sometimes need to use that to slide through these blocks. Marble Garden, that was it, yeah. But hey, I got to show off the collect ring. Just gonna transform just to... I completely forgot you had to climb the trees here. Now, breaking out of the ice block is as simple as button mashing. But you gotta remember not to break out of it too early in the level itself. And I really hate to deprive you of Press Garden Act 2's music, But at the same time, you can't say that Supersonic's themed Glimmering Gift is bad. Alright, boss time. This is the Heavy Shinobi. When you get close to them normally, they will swing their sword and freeze you, leaving you open for their Asteron throwing stars to deal damage. You have to hit them while they jump, and then deal damage again. Oh, that looks... Welcome to our first Sonic CD level. Stardust Speedway. Which also borrows a little bit from Marble Garden with these pulleys. Now those Firefly robots aren't super dangerous until they actually start shooting. I think I just backtracked. Yeah. Yep, there we go. No, this is Stardust Speedway from Sonic CD. Whoa. This is one of Sonic CD's later game levels. And yeah, we're not in Press Garden anymore. It's also the location of one of the more climactic boss battles in Classic Sonic. But we'll get into that when we reach the end of Act 2. By destroying those capsules, you'll release a bunch of seeds that also cause these vines to grow. Avoid the piranha plant heads and use the leaves they drop to speed you on your way. Also, when you're bouncing around in these spring corridors, you need to hold the control pad in the direction you want to go. Which is why I figured I might as well transform now. And the boss of Stardust Speedway Act 1 is a giant version of the Firefly bots. You want to break the little one so the big one appears, and it'll fire a giant fuck you laser, and, well... Normally you'd have to wait until the laser stops firing to damage it, but... I mean... I was supersonic, so I didn't need to. And now... we do the Sonic CD and teleport into the future. For Stardust Speedway Act 2 takes place in Stardust Speedway's good future. At least I think this is a good future. Yeah, Sonic CD's main gimmick revolved around time traveling. Its Chaos Emerald replacements were even called the Time Stones. To get the best ending, Sonic had to create a good future in every zone, which involved either collecting all of the Time Stones, which would just give it to him automatically, or he could track down one of those floating things that he destroyed in the level transition, and use that in order to, and by destroying all of those in the past of each zone, he'd create a good future. However, if he went into the future without destroying all of those, then he would, without destroying one of them, he'd end up in the bad future, which was broken down, had a lot more traps and enemies, and was obviously ruled by Eggman. You can actually direct the way those rockets move. Ow. Those traps always catch me off guard. Knuckles got through, but I didn't. Oh. I didn't want to land on that Badnik. Ooh. A boss I can't fight without transforming while transforming into Supersonic, because I don't have enough rings. But of course, who would be the boss of Stardust Speedway than its original boss, Metal Sonic? Now this isn't a race against Metal Sonic like the original fight was. Instead, it's a get to the end while dodging Metal's attacks. At least this first part is. Because Metal Sonic is a multi-phase fight. You cannot damage Metal Sonic in this phase, but he can't damage you either, so... Or at least he can't damage you if he's not actively attacking. Now what you do here is spin dash into these little silver Sonics that Metal summons, which actually come from one of the Game Gear games. And after bouncing enough of them into him, well then the fight continues. Now before the Plus update, this was actually all... that was all Metal Sonic's boss fight was. But now they added a new phase. Eggman tosses Metal Sonic the Phantom Ruby, and he transforms into Metal Sonic Kai from Knuckles Chaotix. Well, Metal Sonic Kai in Knuckles Chaotix was red, but it's still the same body structure and such, so I'm just gonna call it Metal Sonic Kai again. And obviously, you need to run away. Damn it. But that's why they gave you a checkpoint right there. Because if you get hit, you're probably not going to be able to recover your rings because this area auto-scrolls. Knuckles, you should have stayed above him so you could bounce on him a little more. Damn. I wonder. Nope, his arm isn't sweating. Okay, yeah, he doesn't. Well, if you get behind him, you can constantly damage him, but there's a bottomless pit behind him, so... Learned my lesson there. No! Stay airborne! Stay airborne! Stay airborne! Holy crap! Well, that's one way to do it. Aw, come on! That Badnik took the Phantom Ruby. Well, that Badnik also can't hurt you, so don't worry about getting Kaizo trapped. Well, yeah. And now another Sonic 3 level, Hydro City Zone. The other level that made you fear the drowning music. Well, this one actually has air bubbles. I mean, at least Hydro City had what, the other water levels didn't. Come on, where's an air bubble? Oh my god. And if you're wondering about the numbers, they show up for your AI partners too, so Knuckles is gonna drown. Shoot. Oh dear. Go up, go up, go up. Bubble, bubble, bubble! No! Bubble! Bubble! Oh my god! Phew! I guess that's a gimmick for if the water is still up. Or, we're about to raise it again. Now this bubble gimmick actually comes from one of the Game Gear games. Basically, it allows you to go up until the bubble pops. It'll also pop if you run into anything. So avoid the walls and such. The bubble will protect you from drowning, though, so don't worry too much about that. I like how Supersonic even has his after images in the bubble. Oh hey, it's Eggman! In a diving suit. Shoot. Okay, gonna have to spin dash our way up there. Okay, I jumped into the blue sphere level just to turn back from Supersonic and reset my air meter. So I'm just gonna intentionally jump into a red sphere and continue on. Now they give you that so that you don't drown during this cutscene. But yeah, the upcoming boss battle doesn't really have any reason to turn into Supersonic, so... And Knuckles drowned. Whew. Oh hey, look what we found! Hey Eggman, come up here! By pressing down, you can launch little depth charges that'll destroy Eggman's mines. Basically what we want to do is suck Eggman into the propeller and not the mines. The depth charges don't hurt Eggman, so don't bother using them against him. Just use them to destroy his bombs. The bombs obviously come down faster than he does, come up faster than he does, especially since he can resist the current and they can't. So long, Doc. What I want to know is why they leave that behind. This game is full of little touches like that. Hydro City Act 2. And apparently Knuckles went on a ring collecting spree down below. Now if I could actually find a water shield around here. Curled up a second too late to destroy that bad Nick. if you're wondering, this game is available on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, so basically everything. And I'd say this game is definitely a must-buy for pretty much any Sonic and classic... Like, even if you're a fan of the classic games or not. But, yeah, this is a definite buy for any Sonic fans, or even just people who like platformers in general. I hit the button to transform just a second too late. Oh, thanks, game. Dumped me right onto the spikes. Yeah, I missed it. I also missed that combine ring. Oh, here's some more rings. And a path I can't go on. I've never been good at fighting those badniks. Oh, there's a water shield down there if I just fall straight down. Whew. And apparently I got a follower. Oh. Well, Doctor, this is unorthodox. Basically, you want to hit those little bombs and then make sure that they hit Eggman, who will keep level with you at all times. Yeah, well, he shouldn't have left it... Well, he shouldn't have left it sitting out with the keys in it. There we go. Deal enough damage to those, and this arena might look familiar. Yep, it's this boss. And he's basically the same as he was in Sonic 3. Moving on. Mirage Saloon Zone. Another new original zone. This is the Heavy Magician. And she'll be our main obstacle throughout this level. But the first act of Mirage Saloon is basically like, well, it's like Wing Fortress. Complete with armadillo robots that take the place of the turtle robots from Wing Fortress. All you need to worry about with the tornado is keeping it underneath Sonic. Let me tell you something about this level. Don't spin dash. And be careful about transforming into Super Sonic 2. Because if you spin dash, well, you're gonna go rocketing right off the tornado. Looking up and ducking will move the tornado up and down, and obviously moving left and right will move the tornado left and right as well. Ow. Eggman is having way too much fun with that. We get a short on foot section, and if you turn around right here, easy special stage ring. This is also the only checkpoint in the level, and I don't know why I jumped in there. We don't want to do any more of the Blue Sphere stages. I must have just jumped in there on habit. I mean, I hadn't even transformed into Super Sonic or anything. Anyway, remember at the beginning of the level when Heavy Magician threw a caterpillar out of her hat? The boss of this level is a giant caterpillar. You have to hit it in the head to do damage. Which means jumping early. Jump too late and you'll smash right into one of those spiked segments. Shoot! And that can bounce you right into the bottomless pit. Thankfully, they put the checkpoint right before the boss battle, so... Okay, when you see it go off the way like that, that's the easiest time to hit it. Since it's not coming in a 3D direction. Yeah, it does look really happy. Not jumping fast enough. Shoot. Come on, come at me from the sides. Okay, that's 4 hits. Five. 6. Well, it never lost that smile. Yes, you can bounce that one around. And you'll see exactly where it landed right now. Oh hey, we haven't seen you in forever. That was Bean the Dynamite from Sonic the Fighters. A duck who really liked explosives, and hasn't appeared since Sonic the Fighters. Outside of the Archie comics, of course. The Archie comics never forgot anybody. Yeah, Knuckles doesn't actually go through the Sky Chase part of, Mirage Saloon if you're playing, as him, primarily. Yeah, if you're playing as Knuckles, he has a completely new, Mirage Saloon Act 1. That thing I jumped over can create a path for you to take the upper path with. Can't jump high enough. Come on, sprint dash. There we go. The other people in the wanted posters, we'll see them. If I pass by the wanted posters again, I'll point them out. Assuming I spot them in time to stop. Oh, I don't think we'll need to, because boss battle! The Heavy Magician will transform herself into Fang the Sniper, also from Sonic the Fighters and from Sonic Triple Trouble. She will transform into Bean, of course. Basically, you have to hit her once to knock her out of her disguise, and then hit her again to actually do damage. And her final transformation is Bark the Polar Bear, also from Sonic the Fighters. None of these three had been seen since Sonic the Fighters, and are... I don't know, but I'm defeating her just by walking into her, so... But yeah, they were the other people in the wanted posters. Boom. And hey, what's that off in the distance? Oil Ocean Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. What happens if you take a fire shield into the oil? That happens, that's what! And since the fire shield makes you immune to fire, it doesn't even matter to you. Just be careful of losing it. There's a reason I transformed. Oh, there's the other platform. I think those are just, part of the scenery. Yeah, they're just part of the scenery. Whee! Whoop. Oh yeah, don't stand under those things when they come back down. They will crush you. And no, I'm not going to get crushed by them. So this guy will certainly try. This maintenance spot's big thing, besides throwing wrenches at you, is to try to make these things shoot up into the sky and crush you against the spikes. But the thing is, destroying an oil plant's maintenance worker might not have been the smartest idea. Because you see that smog? That's not just for show. And yeah, I did get a secret item. But yeah, like these fire orbinauts will set the oil on fire as well. So you want to keep a flame shield as long as possible. Press against these, and a second later they'll spring out. But anyway, as the fog gets worse, once it reaches a certain point, it will start draining your rings one by one. And until you pull one of those switches, you pull one of those switches to reset its progress. It's just like Sandopolis Act 2. Only with oil fumes instead of ghosts. Lost my shield. So yeah, you don't want to dilly-dally in this level. I'd also advise holding off on transforming into Supersonic here. Oh yeah, and if you go too far under the oil, you will take damage, so try not to sink into it too much without jumping. You'll know the smoke is too thick when your ring count starts flashing and draining one by one. Up. Flame on. Ow. Jump. Poof. And now it's back on. There we go. Now then, all of these, all of those submarines are actually little sub-areas if you want to go into them. I'm choosing not to, just for sake of speed. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have transformed there. Oh, is this yep, boss area. So the fumes disappear. And Eggman takes up a giant octo machine. What it'll do is it'll shoot its tentacles, it'll create this little laser gun. Which will first blast at you and then blast along the platforms. And then it'll drag the platforms down and surface. It'll also have those other tentacles that you can destroy by bouncing between the orbs. Oh, and make sure you're not standing on a platform when the tentacles drag it down. Because if I'm correct, it's an insta-kill because it drags you into the bottomless pit below the oil. Oh, come on, Knuckles, you couldn't land on that? Apparently that submarine can fly. Welcome to Lava Reef Zone. Also from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Whee! Oh, don't want to touch that. Let's go back to the bottom. Spin dash on those to move them. Whoa, close one. Now that right there. Those were hazards in the original as well. And they lead you to special... And jumping on that one and going into the wall will lead you to another special stage ring. I don't remember if those are just damage or an insta-kill crush, but I plan on not finding out. I seem to recall them being insta-kill crush, though. Well, this is certainly higher up than the original lava reef went. Spin your way down to the bottom, jump over here. Turn into supersonic to avoid losing rings. Oh, there's another shield. Darn it. Missed it. Remember that drill thing from before? Well, currently it's covered in a layer of invincible armor. So to destroy it, we have to destroy that armor first. Lure it into landing on something that it hasn't before. And the lava will deal damage. Then you can damage it. Normally you have to hit it with 3 lava spurts to make it hittable at any point. The second one will expose its core. But if you're supersonic, then you can just force your way through and hit the core after the second geyser to get through the boss faster. Lava Reef Act 2. The flame shield is still useful here, as there are lava pits and the occasional flamethrower around. Oh yeah, I never mentioned them before, but don't hit those Eggman monitors, they deal damage. I'm taking a lot of close brushes with death in this zone. Might as well turn back. Like I said, I don't want to take too long here. Like, I turned back just to avoid, well, having too much trouble with the precise jumping there. Now I don't have any problem. Just turning back into Supersonic and blitzing through the rest of the level. This is Heavy Rider. Normally that spike ball will cause you a lot of trouble. But as it is now, the only thing that's kept me from destroying him so far is that his Moto Bug is invincible. And that he, well, my own speed was keeping me from hitting him. Because I was missing him. And oh, that's the little planet from Sonic CD. And speaking of Sonic CD, we have another zone from there. Metallic Madness. Definitely. Ow. Darn bomb. Now I gotta do that again. Ow. Right. This level doesn't have a lot in the way of bottomless pits, but it does have a lot of spike and crush traps. So I'm probably going to fall into a bunch of the crush ones. Except, I've already reached the boss. Which is actually the final zone from Sonic 1. Which is all about crushing. This game has something about throwing final bosses at you. This is one where Supersonic doesn't help too much because, well... Now the crushers just kind of go nuts. Keep an eye out for Eggman. Shoot! I think that would have been the final hit. Just went a little too far. No, the rings! Alright, we're fighting this boss normal now. Which, to be fair, won't be much different, other than that I've really gotta avoid these electric sparks. Whew! There we go. And now for Metallic Madness Act 2. Aw, come on! I did not go under that. I was in front of it. Man, I was thinking so good on avoiding being crushed. But yeah, those three prongs things actually swap you between the background and foreground. Those lasers will transform you into a tiny form. Ah! I didn't realize that one was gonna come down. And now I gotta start from the beginning of the stage, and, Okay, let's go a different way. Now, you'll have to go through an incredible shrinking hedgehog section no matter what path you're on. And then you just find another laser to return to normal size. And then immediately shrink down again, because why not? Why, yes, he can! Oh hey, a special stage ring! I didn't know that was there. Oh, I didn't realize what that was. Remember when I said this place likes to crush you? to the spring. Alright. And in a cool little touch, you fight the boss of this place while mini. It's an egg gacha. It creates little versions of the Marble Zone boss, the Emerald Hill boss, and there's one more, if I can get it to appear. No, that's another marble boss. Amy! Yeah, they have an Amy doll that'll cling onto you and then explode. Exactly which ones you get, I think, are random. Just gotta run around until the Amy doll explodes. Or just smash her ourselves. And then Eggman will come down trying to shoot at you. Spin it one more time to launch him out of his own machine. Yeah, I don't know why he runs away like that. Maybe he just doesn't want to get hit by a spin attack. And off in the background, our final challenge awaits. This is the final zone, Titanic Monarch. This is Eggman's endgame in this one. A giant robot he plans to use to conquer the world. By powering it with the Phantom Ruby. Those magnetic spheres that Sonic can spin... Those magnetic spheres that Sonic spins around are actually from a bonus stage in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. At least that's where they originated. Basically, you want to spin around them until they, so you've built up enough momentum to launch yourself. No, I don't believe it does. Depending on what side of these you stand on, that's the direction they'll go. And once they reach full, like, once they reach to their, maximum capacity, they will fall apart. I wondered if for a second I just encountered a glitch where the music would stop, but nope, it's back. Huh? Thought I could jump through that. Apparently not. Oh, that's the second time I've been crushed as supersonic. Well, apparently I didn't disappoint. Ow. But I had to jump there because otherwise I wouldn't be able to run through it. Well, at least they didn't punish you with instant death for that. Either Eggman expects his robots to get around here in a very strange way, or he's toying with us. Possibly both. I mean, how else would you explain all of these springs that come out of nowhere? And I'm having trouble with this section. Game, you've gotten me crushed in a million of humiliating ways, but I am not gonna get a time over. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not, because this is the boss battle. This is actually the boss of Death Egg Act 1 from Sonic 3. Or maybe it was Launch Base, I forget. But anyway, you're on an elevator, so that will obviously affect your jumping. Depending on which way the elevator is moving, you can either have higher jumps or lower jumps, and when it comes to a stop, the boss will embed itself in the ceiling or floor. Alright, Titanic Monarch Act 2. This is it. And here's what we do. Go to the four corners of the room and clear each of the different rooms there. It's that simple. It's just that these different challenge rooms happen to be some of the most trap-filled and difficult rooms in the entire game. Perfect. Alright, when it returns you to the main room, that's when you know you wanna go to one of the others. It'll also block you off from entering that other one to show that you cleared it. Like I said, there are 4 of these little challenge rooms to clear. A lightning shield is easily the best thing you can have in this level. And now that I've said that, I'm probably going to lose it before I leave this room. Or not. Now I lost it. I'm not gonna get out of range fast enough. What?! How did that work? Oh man, I'm not gonna have enough rings to turn into supersonic for the final boss. I mean, yeah, it crushed me, but... because I was occupying the same space as it when I transformed, but... I mean, why didn't it just keep pushing me up like normal? Yeah, that's those bad mix attacks. If you can't run away far enough, fast enough, or just can't destroy the badnik in time, then you're gonna take damage. Like, no game, I see those rings and I want them. Drop down. Alright, last one. Don't know why, but I expect another spring. Now, these rooms obviously don't have to be cleared in any specific order. Alright, jump up here. Grab those 3 rings, and... Yep, I'm fighting the final boss without Supersonic. Which is going to make him a pain. This boss is normally covered in an impenetrable shield. When he lets it down, his tentacles become electrified and they will harm you. Every 4 hits or so that Eggman takes, he will lose one of the tentacles. And then create these hands, which will grab you, and then teleport you away so one of the hard-boiled heavies can attack you. This is where you can get more rings. And by dealing a little damage to the hard-boiled heavy you were facing off against, then you can get them out of the attack faster. Though they will send you back to the main boss fight after a set amount of time anyway. Yeah, this boss can take a while. Which is part of why they reset the, timer. Like, if you didn't notice that. Normally, I just turn into Supersonic and abuse the fact that Eggman stands still while he's vulnerable in order to get a bunch of hits in. And skip the hands. As far as I know, there's no getting the hands to go away by just dodging them long enough. Yeah, this is quite possibly the most dangerous final boss machine that Eggman ever created. Knuckles, why didn't you hit him again? I kept rushing for my ring and I got hit. And no, you can't hit him during that startup sequence. See, I'm trying. Oh, come on, I'd hit him! Stupid tentacles. Did I mention I've never fought this guy without Supersonic before? I'm used to being able to score multiple hits per vulnerability period. Instead of one like I'm able to do here. Alright, we managed to destroy the upper tentacles. It's good. Knuckles, get the ring, get the ring! Okay. We can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Okay, yeah, it does just teleport you back after a little while. Yes! Okay. Now that he's lost most of his tentacles, he's not as much of a threat. Still don't want to be in this fight without a ring, though. Alright, we dealt with the cop, the shinobi. Now it's the magician. There we go. And since we have all the Chaos Emeralds, this happens. It looks like the Heavy King has turned on Dr. Eggman, taking the Phantom Ruby for itself. But of course, the good doctor isn't going to let one of his upstart bots get off on a whim. So why not use this opportunity to take them both out? Go! This is this game's supersonic level. Eggman and Heavy King will trade off the Phantom Ruby. As per usual in supersonic levels, if you run out of rings, you die, which is very dangerous considering that Heavy King is one of the few enemies in the entire franchise who can hurt supersonic. If he fires those energy balls at you, you will lose about 10 rings. If you get hit by one. Boom. Okay. If you need a little time to regather rings, try to get Eggman on screen. He does have a dash attack that can hurt Supersonic, but mostly all he does is try to keep Sonic away. You can either run around at the bottom of the screen or take to the air by double tapping the jump button. Also, if you listen closely, you might hear a little excerpt from Sonic Force's theme, Fist Bump, in this level's music. Oh, and since this zone didn't get a name displayed like Doomsday did, like Doomsday or Moon Zone, this is the Egg Reverie. Come on. Ow. Come on, let me through. Okay, we destroyed Heavy King, and now just destroy Eggman. And thus, Classic Sonic gets sucked away into Sonic Forces. Yeah, that's the canon ending. Sonic got teleported by the Phantom Ruby and ended up in Sonic Forces. And that is the good ending of Sonic Mania. So I blazed through that game in about 2 hours. Probably would have been less if I hadn't died so much. But I think you can tell, I love this game. I'd definitely give it a recommendation. However, due to the time it took, I think that we're gonna need to stop here. We'll save Spidey for next time. Yeah, well, I would play through Sonic Forces as well, but not only is Forces not nearly as good at as this game, but it has a lot of blocked scenes in it for some reason. Yeah, not my best run of the game, but definitely not bad. So folks, that was Sonic Mania. Expect this and the Dream Drop Distance finale to be up on YouTube shortly. And I suppose we'll just sit through the rest of the credits sequence. I mean, I Let's Played this game, we should let the crew get their recognition. Oh, I can speed it up by pressing a button. Considering this is apparently gonna go through everything. Huh. I forgot that Atlas had something to do with this game. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna speed up the rest of this. Holy moly. So yeah, this shows us our final score. And takes us back to the main menu. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, we will be heading into New York City to play Spider-Man. See you next time.